Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. And this is my buddy Puccini, who helps me in the craft room, pretty blue eyes. And he is, see if I put him in his box if he stays. And this is not my normal time to do a video, but I decided it's snowy and cold here and a little bit kind of a day when you want to hunker down and do something, and I have a beautiful suite to show you, and I've made a card, and I thought I would just it's very conducive to sitting down and doing something here. So that's what I'm going to do. This is part of the Close to My Heart material that came from Stampin' Up. It's a beautiful suite, and I fell in love with it, and it's a great buy. Right, it's called Secret Garden. For $40, you can get the stamp set, the die set, the main papers, which are beautiful, the secondary papers, and you get embellishments, and you get 10 cards and envelopes. And so I think it's a really good buy. And now it's not got all of the paper our normal designer series paper has in it, but there's certainly enough to make several beautiful cards. And then you have the stamp set and the die set, and it's $40. So I think it's a pretty good buy. So let's just get started and I'll show you what I did with it. All right, let me first start by showing you the card that I made. And I didn't finish the inside because I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. But what I'm planning on doing is doing this on the inside with this. Man, maybe making this a little bit smaller so you can see that pretty paper on the side of it. And then this strip coming right along here, and we'll decide if we want to put any other embellishments on the inside, but that's what it's going to be like. And it uses all of these pretty pattern papers. And let me just show you some of the components. Okay, I found the entire package. This is the way it comes packaged. And there are 10 envelopes and 10 cards that are pre-scored. Then there's the stamp set and the dies. And this is what the stamp set looks like. And there it is. And then there's dies in there, and I've already got mine on a card. So they cut out the large and the smaller flower, and they cut out this big leaf, and they cut out these two smaller leaves, and they cut out this, cuts out that, and this cuts out this little sprig. And then there's happy, smile, love, it's a beautiful life, and memories. And then there's this, it's not a splatter, they're little tiny V's. And so this is what it comes with. And then there are embellishments that it comes with. These, which match the colors in here. And then I wanted to show you a bit of the paper. Now, I've used a lot of mine, and like you said, it's not quite like a designer series packet, but isn't that gorgeous? And it's that color blue, well, it's almost a lavender on that side. The unfortunate part is that it's got this part on the back. So there's 3 or 4 sheets of this kind of paper. There is this paper, and you can see it comes in the pink, and the pink that would go sort of with that is on the back of there. Then this is the yellow paper that I used, and what's on the back of it is more of that pink. Then there's this paper with the little diamond shapes, and then these speckled on this side. And then it also has all of the complementary colors. Now, they're not exactly Stampin' Up colors. The greens are a little bit more gray, and the pinks don't really match any pink that we have. So what I did on mine was I used white as a base, and then I put some of this in, but you can see some of these colors that are in here and some of those different papers. And anyway, this whole assembly, including the, like I said, the cards and the envelopes, is $40, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And I wanted to see it, and I wanted to see the quality of it. And then also in the kit are a couple of their white, which is called, let's see if it tells me on this sheet. Willow White, I think, is what it's called. This kit is supposed to make 18 or 16 cards, 2 each of 8 different designs, and then it gives you here the way it looks, and then it gives you how to cut out to get the materials in order to make the cards the way they suggest. And so they do some really kind of different things here. And I didn't follow any of these designs. You know me, I just went and did my own stuff. And I'm working on a second design right now. But I think it's a pretty good deal for $40. And there's just all different colors and all different kinds of ways to put this together. And this is called Secret Garden Card Making Workshop Kit. So, and it's got the different designs in here, which I think are just really pretty nice. And it gives lots of instructions and kind of things. It's almost like a paper pumpkin, but with way more stuff in it. Anyway, this is the card I chose to make. And what you need to make this is you need basic white, 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. And then, because the paper is limited, what I did was I cut from this beautiful paper a 2-inch by 5 1/4, and each of these are 1.5 inches by 5 1/4, and this is meant to go along the front of the card here. Then I cut this piece that was out of this paper, and I cut it 2 by 4 inches, because if I cut it 2 by 4 inches, because it's 12 across, that means I can get a whole bunch of these strips. So it's enough for me to do a card class. And then the combinations, the way I do it, even if you have, you're going to have people make 2 each of a design, that's still quite a bit of panels to get out of this. Anyway, I'm talking too much, so let's just get on with it. And so then I cut out of white a 2 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece of white to back that to go on here. And then I have this piece, which is 1 by 3 inches, and that's what we're going to do to make our sentiment. And then on the inside of the card, of course, I have these pieces, which is this one that is 4 by 5 1/4, this one that is 3 3/4 by 5, but I think I'm going to cut that down by 1/4 on either side, and then this strip 4 on the inside. So that is what we have to make the card. And so let's just go ahead and get started by putting these on. And I use some of our iridescent rhinestones on this, and I'm not crazy about how big these are. And I did look to see if we had any of their ink to match this, and I really couldn't find anything. But I used Smoky Slate on the sentiment, and that worked out just fine. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put these two pieces together. It breaks my heart to put glue on this beautiful paper on the back. But if you want to do this the way I designed it, this is what we did, what I did. And it might be interesting to go with their designs on a couple of these just to see how they maximize the use of the paper. Okay, anyway, there we go. There's piece number one. Now, to put these pieces together, I cut these, well, erratically, so I'm going to grab my trimmer here and make these the same size. And I want these pieces to be, they're 1.5, and I want them to be 5 1/4, so that they line up and fit on the front of my card. Whoops, I didn't quite get that. Let me try that again. There we go. All right, let me make sure that all of these pieces are 5 1/4. So now these pieces need to be put together. And what I did was I just, and this has a different pattern on the back, and this has this, so they could be done this way or the way, in fact, maybe I'll do them the other way just for grins on this one. So this is going to get attached to this at about right there, and I'm going to just put a little bit of snail on this end, and then I set this back, looks like about 1 inch, and these two pieces are going to go just under this, and what that's going to do is cover our card to the normal size. It would be 4 by 5 1/4, and then attach these two pieces on this end. Okay, so I'm going to put some snail down here, and maybe I'll do that also on this end, and go ahead and put this down. Now I can put this piece down so that I get the kind of margin that I want, and then put this piece down here. But I just think this paper is beautiful. And there we go. All right. I misspoke earlier. This piece is on a piece of white that is 2.5 by 4.5. Then this piece cut out of this paper is 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then this piece is 2 inches by 4 inches. And so in order for that to go together, at least with this design, that's what it needs to be. This not sticking down there. Okay, so this one then goes up on dimensionals. And then let's get our sample card back out here. There it is. And I put that kind of over on this end, right about in here. This one is a little bit more centered than that one. And then on these pieces, we can go ahead and put these pieces inside. So this one is 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go down on the inside. And then to show off some of that pretty paper, I cut this piece down a bit. This one is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So I'm going to set that in here. And then this piece needs to be, what did I just say that was? I'm losing my mind. So it needs to be 4 3/4 long. So I'm just going to snip off the end of that and put that piece right here on the inside. I think that'll look real pretty, and it'll bring the outside of the card to the inside. So setting this down here. I just love putting different pattern papers together anyway, and this really fed my need to do that. I think it came out real pretty. Now on our sentiment, what I did was I set it up on my Stamparatus, and any stamp positioning tool will do, and put my 1 by 3 inch strip in my Stamparatus, and then I used smoky slate and I did it in the Stamparatus because smoky slate can be very light, and I wanted this to have pretty much a good presence. So I inked it up. I have to say this stamp is from the Go-To Greetings that's retired, but if you're like me, I use it and use it and use it, and it really is a go-to. And there's my happy birthday, but it's just not quite dark enough for me. So I stamped it a couple times, as many times as you need to get the color that you want there, and I like that. That looks pretty good to me. In fact, I might even do it one more time just for grins. And so I'm going to do this one more time here, and there, I like that. That's very, very pretty. And so there's our sentiment all ready to go. And I'm going to do this in a card class, and it does help my card class participants if it's set up in a positioning tool, just because it's so hard to get the perfect image the first time. And so I'm just going to flag this sentiment. So there's our beautiful happy birthday, and I'm just going to lay that across here and put a dimensional on this side to kind of keep it lifted so that it doesn't sag. So I'm going to put a dimensional on this side, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this side and put that in place across our card. And isn't that just the prettiest little card? I'm really enamored with this whole set, and I've got another design that I'm working on right now. So I'd like to show you 2 or 3 different cards that I end up making out of this, and maybe we'll make one that's in their suggested material. But that is my project for the day. Some gems on that, and I put iridescent ones on this one, but you know, I think I'm just going to put plain old rhinestones on this other one. Yep, they look just as nice. In fact, maybe I like them even better. So I just twisted around what colors were where on this one, and other than that, it's pretty much the same design, but you can see where you could do lots of different kinds of things with this. It looks like it needs one more, maybe right in here. All right, so there we go. Again, thanks for stopping by, and I'll be back with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye.